Hello and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. Today at the brown table of sports card collecting, I hope I've put together a fun video for you where I'm going to take a look at a bunch of cards that I've paired together. In my last episode about stature cards, I showed the two cards that are on display here on the table. They're both the same card, the Henrik Sedin stature card. One is a red parallel and one is just the base. And I mentioned in that episode that I have a lot of cards like that. It's one of the things I enjoy doing is pairing cards together. And this is one of the easiest ways to do it. When I re-entered the hobby, one of the first things I learned that there is in existence now a thing called parallels, and that did not exist when I was a younger collector. We didn't have cards that were the same and just different colors, and we didn't have that kind of a variety. The closest thing I think we had was probably O-Pee-Chee and Topps. So you could get an O-Pee-Chee version or a Topps version of the same card, or the same thing with Donruss and Leaf. But we didn't have these different parallels that kind of put a different spin on the look of the card with the colors. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. They're not all going to be parallels. Like this is a red parallel of the base card. I'm going to have a variety of different ways that you can pair cards. And I've got quite a big stack, so I'm going to stop yapping here and I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to clear these off so that I can make room for the pairings. And I have three stands out here because some of them I do have three different versions of the card. So the first one I'm going to show is a parallel that I think was the very first parallel that I was made aware of that it existed when I first re-entered the hobby back around the pandemic. I was obviously at that time I was a Brewer fan then, and I'm a Brewer fan now. And so I was drawn to these two cards, the Christian Yelich Emerald Green rookie card and the Christian Yelich base card. The Emerald Green card was the very first parallel I ever was made aware of. I went to a card show with my brother, and we entered this thing without really knowing anything about the modern hobby. We were not aware of parallels. We were not aware of much of anything, but we were just interested in getting our feet wet again in the hobby. And when we stepped into this arena, this was the first thing that I saw, and I just couldn't believe how the shine of these cards really enhances the look. Obviously, the rookie card, we knew about the rookie cards that we were chasing after, but I had no idea that we would be able to find rookie cards of one of our favorite players, Christian Yelich, in such a cool looking variety. So grabbed that one right off the bat. I think this might have been one of the first ones I was ever made aware of. Next one here, this is a pairing of one of my all-time favorites. I've got the lunchbox of him in the background. And these are from 2011. In 2011, Topps did a Diamond Anniversary set, and they had three different versions of these Diamond Anniversary cards. They had the regular Diamond Anniversary, which was the silver. They had the Cognac Diamond Anniversary, which was this kind of a cognac color. And then they had the Hope Diamond Anniversary, which was blue. And those are much more rare and more difficult to find. But I did snag these two copies, and really, really enjoy the way these two cards look. If I can get it up close, you can see maybe the Diamond Anniversary logo up there in the corner. But Hank Aaron, one of my favorites to collect, and post-playing era, I can afford a little bit better. So I've gravitated towards those beautiful looking cards. Now, the next few pairs that I'm going to show are from something called Topps Archives Reserve. In 2001 and 2002, they did what they call these Archives Reserve cards. And what these were, the shinier version is the reserve card that's a replica of one of the more iconic cards from a vintage set. And this is just an example of Dave Parker. 1978 Topps is one of my favorite all-time Topps designs. And I've always enjoyed Dave Parker. So this was a card. I saw this had the Archives Reserve version of it, and I knew I had this one in my collection from when I was a kid. So I snagged this Archives Reserve card just to pair with it. And you can see just the shine on these Archive Reserve cards really pop. But I just love the way that those two cards look together. Next one is another one of the Archives Reserve cards from 2002. And this is one of my favorite photographs on any card that Topps ever made. The 1977 Carlton Fisk. And you can just see why I enjoy this photograph so much. The perfect pose from Fisk as he's catching the ball to tag out this would-be runner that's scoring. I've kind of got a little collection, and I'd like to grow it, of catcher cards, vintage catcher cards that have really sharp looking photographs on them like this with the action. I've got a handful of those. I might do an episode on that at some point in the future. But this Carlton Fisk is one of those beautiful photographs, and couldn't resist adding that Archives Reserve card to my collection as well. Next one, again, is this is another Archives Reserve. Maybe I'm getting a little redundant with these Archives Reserve cards, but I just really enjoy the way they look. This is an iconic card. This is the 1980 George Brett, and this was my original version of the card when I was a kid growing up. I collected 1980. I think I've mentioned that on the channel. It's my favorite design from Topps. So naturally, when I saw that we had this George Brett in the Archives Reserve, I snagged that, and just the beautiful shine on the reserve card, again, matches with the vintage card real nicely. And the next one, I apologize, I do have a couple more. There's two more of these Archives Reserve cards. This one is more fitting to my PC. This is Robin Yount. This is 1982. This was my childhood copy of the card that I pulled from packs back in the day. And then this is the Archives Reserve with all the shine. 1982 was Robin Yount's first MVP season, and obviously the Brewers, probably the most successful season they've had as a franchise. They went to the World Series and lost. That's as far as we've ever gotten. So hopefully we can break that trend this year as we're making a push. But this is Robin Yount, 1982. Love that pairing. The next pairing I have is actually not a pairing at all. It's a triplet. And this is the Robin Yount rookie card. So this is the 1975 Topps rookie card of Robin Yount, and I had that sent in and graded at a 3.5. I think it's maybe a little bit better looking than 3.5, but this particular card has got a number of different varieties that you can get. This is the mini version, 75. I'm sure most of you know the Topps made mini versions of that set. So that mini Robin Yount card pairs nicely with the regular. And then I do have a Archives Reserve, and this one is a little bit more special because it does have the authentic Game Warden patch also included in that. So you see the shine here as I get it in the light a little bit better. So I have three versions of this same card. Actually, I have a fourth one. I do have a PSA graded card. I didn't pull that one out of the display case, but Robin Yount being one of my favorite players, I do tend to go overboard a little bit with his cards, but this is a nice trio that I do have on display together, these three cards. So, Robin Yount, 1975 rookie card. The next one I have here, this is, I don't know exactly the year, it's maybe 2022 of Stadium Club. This is a Jackie Robinson card. This is him, looks like he's signing some sort of a scorecard or something in this image. but they're both from the same Stadium Club Chrome set. This one is a blue parallel, and I think this one is the X-Fractor. I think the blue parallel is actually numbered, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this one is numbered to 199. I don't think the X-Fractor card is numbered. I don't see a number on that one. But those two cards, just another beautiful pairing of an iconic player from baseball's history books. Color barrier breaker, Jackie Robinson. Now, the next one, shifting gears a little bit here. This is with the hockey season underway. I think I do have a few other hockey cards in this mix today, but here's something that Upper Deck does, and with baseball not really being an Upper Deck sport any longer, Upper Deck does a canvas card, and you can't really maybe see too well from the image here, but this finish has got kind of a texture to it, like a canvas, and then they do sometimes do a black and white version of the color photograph. So I like this because it's not only is it a canvas print, but it's also got the two different varieties. One is in color and one is in black and white. I just love this photograph of Thatcher Demko from behind him. That's from the vantage point of the goal. The Canucks last night had their first game of the season and took care of the Calgary Flames. Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come for the season. I know the season is young, but a win is a win, so I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. All right, now the next one, this is one of my favorite current baseball players who's not a Milwaukee Brewer. He used to be a Milwaukee Brewer, but I still like the man. This is a Willy Adames, and this is his first Bowman. The one on the left is a Bowman Chrome. This is first Bowman, and it's autographed, and I had that sent in and got it graded. You can see the autograph got a 10, and the card itself got a 9.5. So it's a beautiful copy of the card. And then I also have a paper copy of the same card that is also autographed. Now, this one was a refractor that is certified autographed by Topps. This one is a little bit different. You can see the autograph has a little bit different placement, and it's along his leg rather than along the bottom. But this one, I do have the certificate that goes along with it to certify its authenticity of the autograph. So that's a cool pairing. Two autograph cards of the same card, same guy, same year, just a very different two looks. One is paper, one is a refractor. So that's a cool pairing. The next one I have is a trio of cool Papa Bell cards, and I can directly attribute this trio to Shoebox Shane, who has shown many of these Prism cards on his channel, and he's got several of these cool Papa Bell cards. I've got a base, the one in the center is the base card, and then I've got the blue cracked ice and the pink cracked ice version, but these three cards really look sharp together. Cool Papa Bell I talked about in one of my previous episodes, one of my tribute card episode. I showed a beautiful Topps tribute card of cool Papa Bell. Talked about his legendary speed. But these three cards, I just love the way they all look together. You can see I've pulled these cards from all sorts of different corners of my collection. And if you've watched any of my previous episodes, you know I organize my collection into categories. I have One Touch Town and Top Loader Land and Slab City. So all these are coming from different places. So you can see I've got the Top Loader Land cards here, and then I've got the One Touch Town card here. So just like to put those cards together, though. The next one I have is another one of Willy Adames. This is his Topps debut card. And again, I've got the version that's just the base version here on the right. And this is rookie card. This is, you can see this is debut and 5/22/18. commemorating his first appearance in a Major League game. And then this one here is a pink parallel, and I believe this one is numbered, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's numbered on the front and I just didn't see it, but I don't know. Maybe I was mistaken about that being numbered. But anyways, you can definitely see the different look. But I think they both look great together. One of my favorite players, Willy Adames. All right, the next one here, we're getting close to the end of my stack. But this is a pairing that I really enjoyed because of the image on it is just beautiful. I can see if I can get both of these to stand up together on the three stands. This is a gold minted Topps Stadium Club Chrome card, and this is the base of that same card. You can see it's Christian Yelich, and he's celebrating. I think it's nice to note that the picture is almost just as much of Lorenzo Cain as it is of Christian Yelich, the two of them celebrating it, what appears to be a home run by Christian Yelich. But I really enjoy these gold minted cards. That the image looks really cool and sharp, but then the color version, the base card, really adds a whole different element too, just to know what the original photograph looked like, but what the technology can do to make the card look really special. So that's a pairing I really enjoy. And I apologize, I'm going on a little bit longer than I had anticipated here. But I got the next one I have is another hockey pairing. And this comes from a parallel that Shane has talked about on his channel, the exclusives cards on Upper Deck Hockey. They're all numbered to 100. So this is a Kevin Bieksa 2010-2011 Kevin Bieksa card, and it's numbered to 100 because that's what the exclusives are numbered to. But this one I found is an exclusives that is called a Spectrum exclusive. It's the same card, but it is only numbered to 10. And you can see there's a subtle difference in the foil lettering of the exclusives and the regular exclusives to 100. It's kind of got a gold tint, and this one is a little bit more silver, the Spectrum one. So, and Kevin Bieksa, I could explain quickly why this is significant to me. In 2010-2011 season, the Canucks made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, they didn't win. They got beat by the Bruins. But it's one of the more successful seasons the franchise has had. And Kevin Bieksa scored a game-winning goal in double overtime of the conference finals to send the Canucks to the finals. One of my most fond memories as a hockey fan was Bieksa scoring that goal. So collect his cards in that particular year is kind of special to me. All right, next up, I've got another Topps Chrome and Stadium Club. Now, these two cards are not from the same set, but they have the same photograph, which I thought was pretty cool. This is from the Topps Chrome update. You can see he's being doused by a Gatorade bath. He had apparently just had a game-winning hit in his post-game interview. I undoubtedly believe that the man dumping the Gatorade on him that we can't see is probably Willy Adames. And then this card on the right is from a totally different set. This is from a Stadium Club set, but it's the same photograph with a different orientation, but it's definitely the same picture. So I thought that was kind of a cool pairing to put in today's video. And Bryce Terang, of course, one of my favorite current Brewers. All right, now I promise I am getting down to the end. I've got 3 more sets to show. The next one, this one has more meaning to me and my brother probably than it does to anybody else. But this card is from, I want to say 2019. If I could look at the 2020. It's from 2020. And so this is a roll out the barrel card. This is a Brewers team card from 2020. And I got 3 different versions of it. But Every single time the Milwaukee Brewers win a game, one of us, my brother or I, sends a photograph to the other one of this particular card just to celebrate and acknowledge that the Brewers had won that day. So these three cards are the Brewers team card. This says roll out the barrel. The one in the middle is an orange parallel, and this one is numbered to 25. I'm pretty sure it says on the back there. This is 19 or 13 of 25. And the other two are different versions of it. This one is not numbered, but you can see it's kind of got that rainbow foil effect to it. And then the one on the left over here is just the base card. But this card has special meaning to me just because it's the one that my brother and I always use to celebrate whenever the Brewers win a game. So that's a cool grouping of cards. All right, now we're down to my last two, and the next one is another trio. And this is my most valuable card in my collection. I don't have a lot of cards that have a whole lot of value. I just kind of go for the cheap but awesome cards. But this one was gifted to me by my Aunt Gail. This is a 1961 Mickey Mantle Topps, and I sent it into PSA, one of the few cards I've sent into PSA. And it came back beautifully graded at a 7. And I found that Topps made a set in 1996 that was a Mickey Mantle commemorative set that they did reprints of all of Mickey Mantle's base cards. And so I picked one up. I picked this one up on the left, and you can see that these cards have a peeling that you can peel off. I'm not really sure. I wasn't in the hobby at the time, so I don't know what the allure to the card peeling was. That is kind of still a mystery to me, but apparently they had a film over the top of the cards that was supposed to protect it. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody in the comments can explain to me what the appeal was to the peel. But I was not very happy with the coloring on this one. His face just looked weird, so I wasn't happy with it. So I bought another one that still had the protective coating on it. You can see it's kind of got the writing over the top, but I didn't know if the peeling of the coating is what caused the coloring to go wonky. So I've just left the protective coating on that one, and it is what it is, but it goes nicely with the true vintage card that I have in the center, and just looks great with Mickey Mantle. Who can complain about a 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle card paired with anything? So that's that. And the last one I have is, I think these are cards that I've shown before on the channel too. At least this one I know I have. This is my version of the 1961 Hank Aaron, and I sent it in to get graded. I knew it was going to get a very low grade, and that was totally fine with me. I just wanted to get it protected in the tuxedo slab, and it's got some surface issues. The corners are kind of crinkly, and it's got a little wrinkle in it, and it came back a 1, and that's fine. But then I paired it together with, this is another one of those Archives Reserve cards, and this is a beautiful pairing. The wonderful photograph of Hank Aaron with the vintage, and then juxtaposed with that with the beautiful shine of the Topps Archives card. Just a beautiful looking pairing. So that is my episode for today, and I apologize. I went way longer than I had anticipated. So if you stuck around through the whole thing, I really appreciate it. But I just wanted to share some of these wonderful pairings, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And I'm going to throw my Robin Yount rookie card pairings up here if I can get my stands to stay up. This is probably my favorite card of all time. So we'll end with this one. So until next time, enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.